So it's been 1 year since getting our Thor Sanctuary 19 PT, and we decided it's October, the fall colors are out, let's go to Maine. It's about a 3,000-mile round trip journey. Pretty much toll roads the entire time, as you can see, come up to a toll booth here. But we decided we would go up to Acadia National Park, check that out, but we'd also go through Maine and kind of do like some Stephen King stuff. It's Halloween time, so we'd go to some of the sites that inspired Stephen King. So the majority of the drive out there, besides being all toll roads, it basically was like all rain. But that's okay. I mean, couldn't use cruise control really. I don't like to use cruise control when it's raining, but we'd have breaks in the rain every now and then, catch like a nice little rainbow. The sun was behind us most of the time since we were headed east, and now the days are shorter. Our first stop on our little journey out there was the Ohio State Reformatory. So this is the prison that you saw in Shawshank Redemption, which is based on a Stephen King book. We didn't realize when we drove out to it, we should have thought about it though, but there was a haunted house inside it, so we couldn't go in the parking lot, so we just had to do kind of like a drive-by and look in. We were too late to get our reservations for tickets to go through the haunted house, but still pretty cool overall. Our first stop for the night, we decided to stay at a Love's Truck Stop. So pretty nice place. We did some, I don't know if you know about this or have heard about it, but Love's is starting to install RV dedicated spots. They have 30 amp power and they have water. So pretty nice. It is $38 a night, I think, with a discount. But that's where we stayed for our first night. And so next day, we kind of just driving day, Pennsylvania, New York State, Massachusetts, and then finally got into Maine. It was nighttime when we pulled in. We stopped at one of their like service plazas that are off their little toll road, and it seemed like it was okay to just spend the night there. Parked on the edge. This is the sunrise the next morning, but you can see there's a couple other vans with us, so that's kind of cool to wake up, see other people that were cruising around in their van, spent the night there too. After getting up, got back on the road, just had a short drive to get to Bangor, Maine, which is kind of like Derry, Maine in the Stephen King world. We first went to this truck stop for breakfast. This truck stop is the inspiration for a movie called Maximum Overdrive. It might have been based on a book called Trucks. So after breakfast, first stop, we went to Stephen King's former house. So a pretty neat house. It had a sculpture on the side that was carved into an old tree. Pretty detailed. There's a lot of stuff happening there. Pretty interesting. About less than a mile up the street is the Thomas Hill standpipe. This was featured in the movie It, so you might recognize it from there. Went to the Bangor Public Library. I know Stephen King gave a lot of money to renovate this place for the town. Also, not far from there is the Paul Bunyan statue. This is in the movie It. It came to life and chased a character. You can also look at the Bangor Waterworks. This has been in at least one movie and then a couple stories. But the pinnacle place I feel like to go on tour is the cemetery. So it's the Mount Hope Garden Cemetery. It's interesting to walk through. It's meant to walk through. You can see gravestones in it these were from like the mid-1800s. You can find Carrie's gravestone, which is the name that inspired Stephen King for the movie Carrie. Also can find Georgie's gravestone. So very interesting place. Highly recommend going to the graveyard. So after leaving the cemetery, it was on to Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. So we drove to the park, drove to Bar Harbor. This is Bar Harbor in the background. Decided we'd stay in a hotel, so the van's just parked. Spent the night in the hotel, recorded the sunrise the next morning, did a little time lapse of it. A little distracting when a cruise ship like pulls in to your frame. Wasn't really expecting a large cruise ship, but got up that morning, went on to the park. Very nice looking park. Very scenic. Had some good hikes on it. Has a lot of traffic though, so if you go to this park sometime, expect a lot of people, and you'll be waiting in lines, even lines for the bathroom. It was pretty insane. The highlight of Acadia National Park has got to be the Cadillac Road Summit and seeing the sunrise up there. So this time of year, if you see the sunrise, you're the first person in the United States to see it in the continental U.S. RVs and vehicles over 21 feet are not allowed, and they will stick to that. They denied someone behind us. But a camper van, as long as it's a shorter one like ours, you can totally go to the top and make the drive. I'll post a video of the drive down by itself uninterrupted in another video. So after the sunrise, went back to the hotel room, had 2 cruise ships now. I don't know how the people at Bar Harbor feel about it, but it's very distracting to look out your window and see like 2 cruise ships just parked right outside your room. So for the last day, went out to the Schoodic Peninsula. So this is part of Acadia National Park, but it's kind of a little bit lesser. It's not as busy. It's less traveled. It's a different peninsula. Not a whole lot of stops to see, but the stops you do see are pretty neat. This is a rocky beach, kind of cliff edges. It has pools of water stuck since the tide went out and stuff, so you can kind of search for different types of wildlife and aquatic life in the pools. So pretty cool overall. So during the entire trip, the only problem that occurred is this blue screen on the cameras on the Ford Transit van. This is a known problem. It's a recall. Ford has no fix for it yet, but I'm sure everyone else with the Ford Transit has been experiencing the same thing. The one change up we made to our setup is rather than run memory foam mattresses in the back, we switched to the inflatables. They're only like 4 inches thick. Surprisingly, they're way more comfortable than memory foam. And this worked out a lot better as we spent 60% of the trip sleeping in the van, so that's it for the Acadia trip. Drive back was roughly 1,500 miles of toll roads and rain again, so not much to report there. Overall, the trip was good. We're coming up, it's 1 year of ownership now, so I'm going to post another video that'll have like 1 year's mile per gallon average on gasoline, the operating costs of the Transit. So also maybe do in the same video like 1 year of all the upgrades. Could be good to see. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.